What would you do if a single obstacle on your path decided your future without you knowing it? Would you complain, walk away, or take responsibility when no one is watching? Today's story begins with a simple question, but its answer separates the ordinary from the unforgettable. Somewhere on a quiet road, an unexpected problem waits. Many people will see it. Almost everyone will ignore it. And only one person will change his life forever because of one small decision. Stay with me till the very end, because there is a hidden reward in this story, one lesson that could completely change how you face problems in your own life. Welcome back to English Story Archive, where simple stories carry powerful truths. If you enjoy meaningful stories that stay with you long after the video ends, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps this channel grow, and helps more people hear stories that truly matter. Long ago, in a peaceful kingdom, there ruled a man named King Aldrich. He was not remembered for his wars or his gold, but for his wisdom. King Aldrich believed something very different from other rulers. He believed a kingdom was not strong because of its walls or weapons, but because of the thinking of its people. He often told his sons, "A nation rises when its people face problems instead of avoiding them." But words alone were not enough. Lessons spoken are easily forgotten. Lessons lived are remembered forever. So one morning, King Aldrich decided to teach a lesson that no book ever could. A lesson about responsibility. A lesson about courage. And a lesson about how real opportunities often hide behind uncomfortable problems. Quietly, without announcing anything to anyone, the king gave a simple order to his guards. An order that would soon test every person who passed through the kingdom's busiest road. And without realizing it, an ordinary day was about to become unforgettable. Before sunrise, the king's guards carried out his command. They rolled a massive stone and placed it right in the center of the busiest road in the kingdom. It was impossible to miss. Anyone passing through would have to face it. Then, the guards left. No signs.
No warnings. No explanation.
From a high tower nearby, King Aldrich watched in silence with his sons beside him. He did not plan to stop anyone. He did not plan to help. He only wanted to observe. As the morning grew brighter, the road slowly filled with people. Merchants, travelers, and officials all moved toward the same path. One by one, they reached the stone. One by one, they reacted. This was the moment the king had been waiting for. Not to see who was strongest, but to see who was willing to act when action was needed. And very soon, the first reactions revealed more than words ever could. The first to arrive were the kingdom's wealthy nobles. Their clothes were clean. Their carts were polished. Servants walked beside them, clearing the way with pride. But the moment their wheels struck the stone, everything stopped. Angry voices filled the air. "What kind of ruler allows this?" one man shouted. Another waved his hand in disgust and said the roads were poorly managed. They blamed the guards. They blamed the king. They blamed everyone except themselves. Not one of them stepped down to touch the stone. Not one of them tried to move it. After a few moments of complaining, they turned their carts around and chose another path. The problem stayed right where it was. From the tower above, the king's sons watched carefully. They saw wealth. They saw authority. But they also saw something missing. And the road, once again, was left for someone else to deal with. After the nobles were gone, a group of villagers approached the road. They were simple people, returning from long hours of work. Their faces showed tiredness, but their hearts were calm. When they saw the stone, they stopped. Some shook their heads. Others looked up toward the sky. One of them spoke softly and said this must be fate. Another said it was surely a test from above. They stood together for a moment. They closed their eyes. They whispered prayers. They asked for guidance and protection. Then, with peaceful smiles, they walked around the stone and continued on their way. They meant no harm. Their hearts were sincere. But the obstacle remained. From the tower, the king said nothing. His sons said nothing. The lesson was growing clearer with every passing person. Good intentions alone, without action, change nothing. Not long after, a strong figure appeared on the road. It was Sir Roland, one of the king's most loyal guards. He was known for his honesty and strict sense of duty. The moment he saw the stone, his expression changed. He understood the danger. Someone could get hurt. Carts could break. Trouble could follow. Without wasting time, Sir Roland turned his horse around and rode quickly toward the palace. In his mind, this was the correct choice. It was his duty to inform the king. But there was one thing he never did. He never tried to move the stone. As his horse disappeared down the road, the obstacle stayed exactly where it was. Responsibility had once again been passed along. From above, the king's sons watched quietly. They were beginning to understand something important. Seeing a problem is not the same as solving it. And still, the stone waited for someone willing to act. The sun slowly moved across the sky. Morning turned into afternoon. Shadows grew longer. Still, the stone remained in the middle of the road. Many more people passed by. Some complained quietly. Some shook their heads. Others did not even stop. Each person assumed someone else would handle it. With every passing hour, the road became more dangerous. A single problem, left untouched, was now affecting everyone. From the tower, the king's sons felt uneasy. They had seen wealth, faith, and duty pass the stone by. Yet none of it had solved the problem. As the day leaned toward evening, the road grew quiet. It seemed the test might end without an answer. But just as the sky began to glow with the colors of sunset, a lone figure appeared in the distance. His steps were slow. His shoulders were heavy. And without knowing it, he was about to reveal the true lesson behind the stone. The man walking toward the stone was a farmer named Ethan. His clothes were dusty. His hands were rough. A heavy sack rested on his back, pressing his shoulders down with every step. He had worked since sunrise. His body ached. His legs wanted to stop. When he saw the stone, he sighed and stood still for a moment. He could have walked away like the others. No one was watching him. No one expected anything from him. But instead, Ethan looked at the road ahead and thought about the people who would pass here tomorrow. Children. Elders. Travelers just like him. Slowly, he set his burden down. This shouldn't stay here, he said quietly to himself. And with that simple thought, the moment arrived where an ordinary man chose responsibility over comfort, without knowing that his choice was about to change everything. Ethan placed both hands against the stone and pushed. It did not move. He stepped back, took a deep breath, and tried again. His muscles tightened. Sweat ran down his face. The stone felt heavier than his long day in the fields. For a moment, doubt crossed his mind. He was tired. He was alone. No one would blame him if he stopped. But then he remembered the carts that would come at dawn. The children who might trip. The elders who might struggle. This road belonged to everyone. So he pushed again. His feet slid against the dirt. His arms trembled. Still, he did not quit. With one final effort, using all the strength he had left, the stone finally rolled aside. And in the quiet that followed, Ethan noticed something he never expected to see. As the stone shifted away from the road, something dark and worn caught Ethan's eye. He leaned forward and froze. Beneath the stone lay a small leather pouch. Ethan picked it up slowly. It was heavier than it looked. His heart began to race as he loosened the string and looked inside. Gold coins. Shining. Real. More than he had ever seen in his life. He looked around in shock. The road was empty. The evening air was still. For a moment, he wondered if his tired eyes were playing tricks on him. But the weight in his hands was real. Ethan had moved the obstacle to protect others. He had not expected anything in return. Yet there it was, a reward hidden where effort had been required. And just as the meaning of that moment began to settle in, footsteps echoed behind him. Ethan turned around, still holding the pouch in his hands. Standing a short distance away was King Aldrich, accompanied by his sons. Their expressions were calm, but the king's eyes carried a quiet pride. "You may keep what you found," the king said gently. Ethan was stunned. He lowered his head at once, unsure of what to say. The king stepped closer and spoke so his sons could hear every word. "That stone was never placed there to block the road," King Aldrich explained. "It was placed to reveal the hearts of those who passed by. Many saw the problem. Few felt responsible for it." He looked at Ethan and smiled. "You did not complain. You did not wait. You acted." The king then turned to his sons. "Remember this," he said. "Life's obstacles are not meant to stop us. They exist to show us who we choose to be." And in that moment, the lesson became clear, clearer than any crown or command ever could. The king's sons stood in silence, their eyes fixed on the empty road where the stone had once been. They had watched many people that day. People with power. People with faith. People with duty. Yet it was the quiet strength of one tired farmer that left the deepest mark on them. King Aldrich spoke again, his voice calm but firm. "Obstacles are not walls," he said. "They are invitations. When we choose to face them, we grow. When we ignore them, we remain the same." Ethan listened, still overwhelmed. He had not acted for reward. He had acted because it felt right. And now, his simple choice had changed his future. Some lessons are learned through comfort. The most powerful ones are learned through effort. That day ended like any other. But the truth revealed on that road would live far beyond the setting sun. Before we end, take a moment to think. What obstacle are you walking around in your own life right now? The one that feels heavy. The one you hope someone else will handle. This story from English Story Archive reminds us that the problems we avoid today often return bigger tomorrow. But the ones we face can change us forever. If this story made you think, share it with someone who might need this reminder. And leave a comment below. What obstacle are you ready to face next? Your thoughts matter more than you know. Thank you for listening, and we'll meet again soon with another story that stays with you long after it ends.